Had a good day. Let's go through the recap for today. Today was a much better range for DR. We had a 21-point range, and we end up kind of confirming down to the downside. Let me see if I can take off these midnight and weekly opens so we can see the ladder a little bit better. So, 21-point range. We had, up here we had our DR high, IDR high. The blue line here is our 0.5 fib, which becomes important a little later on. And then, DR low, IDR low, and then DR low, of course. So, um, you know, price comes up, comes down, confirms DR low here. And so, as you guys know pretty well by now, we're looking for a retrace on the ladder. And so, once price comes back up above DR low, our order is placed here on the DR low line, and so what we're waiting for is price to come back down and pick us up. And so it does that, and that's 41.40, 41.40.5, and then our stop is 2 ticks above the IDR high. And what's happening is, so price comes up, doesn't, gets close to our take profit. Our stop loss, but of course doesn't get all the way up there. And so then we have a nice move to the downside, which gives us our 10 points on this first move. Okay. One thing we noticed, and this is not necessarily DR, is we had a really strong candle wick that came down here, and that ended up forming kind of that sell side, right? And so when we look at that, one of the things that ended up happening is we knew price was going to come back up, okay? Because it came down, and then it just had that it's not even a doji, it's almost like a hammer, but it ran right back up, okay? And so I ended up taking a short 5-point trade here. Okay, not DR related, but just 5 points, because I'm like, I know it's going to move back up. And so I end up getting 5 points off of that trade. So I'm up at 15 now. And again, I wasn't trying to, I call it a bonus trade. Because the next thing that happens is price comes back up and starts looking at this, working on this, on the IDR. And one of the things that I had mentioned in one of my groups was, I know price was back up here, and so technically I could have taken another order on the DR low, but I didn't trust it, right? So I wanted price to move up here. And so once price moved up, my order wasn't placed on IDR low initially. It was actually placed on the DR low, right? So once I got above and I knew that it was, moving further away in this gap, I was able to put my order here. And that lasted, this was about an hour for that to happen. And then so finally, after lunch, price started moving up away from the IDR. So I'm like, okay, so now I can move my order up here to the IDR low from the DR, right? So now I'm saving myself at about 4 or 5 points. And so, of course, what happens is get in here on this candle. I'm sorry, on this candle. This is where it moved up. I saw this candle form. And so price came down a little bit and then shot back up. And you guys can tell, this is a stop out here, right? So that's 5 points right above here. And so that's a stop out. So now I'm back down to 10 points for the day. And so I didn't, it came back up again and started testing this 0.5 fib. If I was, following the rules, I would actually just got back in here and taken some more of this trade. And what ended up happening was I want to say it's on this candle, it went back up, and somewhere here I got 1 point. I need to pull up my arrows and see where that was, but somewhere here I got into another sell trade, and then I saw, it was this candle. So I got here, I got into another sell trade, and so I'm like, okay, I need to get my 5 points back, right, being greedy, and price came down a couple points, about 3 or 4 points, and then it just came back up again. So I actually moved my stop down to 1 point in profit, because I'm like, I'm leaving here with something, right? Like Denzel Washington says, I'm leaving here with something. So I got that 1 point here, and then I stopped looking at the trade because if I hadn't, I would have, I would actually got back in here on this candle, and then you see what happens, going into the afternoon. This would have been a very profitable trade coming down. All right, so that was so I ended up with 11 points for today on the DR side. I did take a small trade off an ICT concept on this fair value gap down here. Once it formed and came back up, and so I ended up with another like 4 points or 5 points on that one, and then was done for the day. So a couple more opportunities, but this was the morning was actually a lot easier for me, even though we had we had a news event that happened at 8:30. Market moved all the way up, right? So this was our 8:30 news candle. With CPI, and then the rest of the day, prices started coming back down again. So one thing I was telling my group, one of my groups is, I don't even look at the market till 10:30 on these kind of days, because like this would have, if I was in a trade here on a futures trade, I probably gotten stopped out somewhere down here. If I had placed orders yesterday, for options, by 9:30. Most of the gains would have been gone, because at least half of them would have been gone. So, just sitting on a DR trade for an hour to see what it does from a price standpoint made it a lot easier to just kind of relax and just wait. And didn't have to wait long today. Like literally at 10:30, 10:35 is when price confirmed. And then again, we're just waiting for what's supposed to happen next. I retrace, whatever rung on the ladder it goes above, we put an order on that rung on the ladder, and then watch it do its job. All right, so good day overall. I know some people made a lot of money based off of some of these moves. Very comfortable with what we did today from a DR standpoint. And again, all we're doing is building, day by day. Some days we're going to lose, some days we're going to win. But as long as we win more than we lose, life is good. All right, so hopefully this was helpful, and I will talk to you guys later.